G'day guys and welcome back to the second episode of the Podcast. I'm Az.
And I'm Dane. And recap from last time, we are still going ahead. Third episode, giveaway. So just remember, we want your best fishing mishap, best long line you can give us. Email into us at codtales, so that's CODTALES podcast at gmail.com.
Let's hear them, guys. And also, I'll mention we're still going to run the men's mental health lure board. All the donated lures sent in to us, we'll give you an address at the end of the show. We'll auction them off on our socials, and all the proceedings will go to men's mental health.
Beautiful. How good is that? And on today's episode, we're going to talk about a Corrado bait casting mishap, which cost me a fish.
And also an ignition switch that cost me a day's worth of fishing. Also, we're going to lead into a tackle store yarn, including some dentures.
All right, guys, back into it. So, Az, what's been happening with you? Been a trip or two recently, or?
Yeah, snuck out to the river for a quick arvo fish, I think on Tuesday, mate. So,
How good's that?
yeah, it wasn't a bad little arvo. I think we ended up with, was only 4 fish, but that's winter fishing in cod. You don't always get them, eh?
Isn't it? We had one good trip that we got, 12, 13 on in winter, but
yeah,
that's pretty unheard of, to be honest.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, if you catch them all on that, fuck me dead.
Yeah, that's hitting them out of the MCG and in winter.
Any decent size to we made, or?
No, it was pretty disappointing. I don't think I threw anything under 150 mil the other day. It was
Big
a lot of
stuff.
swim baits.
In the river.
Yeah, and as soon as I downsized to an 80 mil chainsaw, I caught
Started
fish.
tearing them up.
Yeah, it was one of those. Go out. I'm definitely going to get a big fish on a nice swim bait. Maybe get one on top water, and still had to resort back to the old 80 mils to get a bite.
How funny is that? Like, sometimes in winter, it is resorting back to those smaller baits. That brings them on. Like, you can't always expect to go out and chuck something that's 300 mil long and catching fish left, right, and centre.
Nah.
I mean, if you do pursue with those big baits, yeah, you will get big fish. But sometimes, if you want to start getting the bites,
downsize,
and that's the way to go. That's the way to go.
Anyway, mate, we're sitting here about to have a little chat. What are you drinking today, mate?
Mate, the old JD and Coke.
Can't beat it.
Self-mixed, obviously.
Good stuff.
And it is going down beautifully.
It is quite tasty.
Can't complain. So, mate, this week been a bit of a one with a heavy heart for you, hasn't it?
Yeah, no, it's...
And
it's
condolences.
Thanks, mate. Lost me my biggest fishing influencer in my life, mate. He passed away pretty early, mate. He was only 58. But, yeah, everything I am today through the fishing industry was him, for sure.
Yeah, it is rough to hear, and I never met the bloke, but I've heard so many of his stories. It is unbelievable. And just to recap, back on our first episode, we were talking about Uncle Russ, Aaron's Uncle Russ, with his meter 19 that he caught on a 75 mil.
Yeah, 75 mil player.
Orgy player.
Yep.
So, unfortunately, Uncle Russ, he
passed away on the Monday. So it's been a bit of a hard week, but yeah, we've got all these great memories and what he's taught us and all us kids in the family on how to fish and how not to fish.
And Uncle, so how many kids were in the family, mate? Like,
it is a pretty big family on that side, mate. I think Uncle Russ had 7.
Yep.
And I think probably 4 of us, or 4 of them fish. and I was the fifth wheel from Mum. So
Mum every holiday has kicked you off, and Uncle Russ is like, here you go.
and this where it leads into the old run across the backyard with the slug gun.
Now, this is one of the funniest things I've ever fucking heard from deciding who gets to go on the boat fishing. Go on, Az, take it away.
So having so many kids, it was a bit of a who's coming fishing today, and everyone wanted to go and carried on. So he made us all line up out the backyard, all against.
How big was the boat? Like
We could fit 3 people.
three people.
You had at least 2 eliminated.
Oh no, righto. Yep, straight off the bat. And then how was the rest of the elimination method going?
So you used to put blue tack in the old slug gun, and
How good is that?
if you had to line up.
I can see where this is going.
Oh mate, you didn't want to get hit, that's for sure.
Oh,
But yeah, get on one side of the fence, mate, and when he said go, you leg it. And if you touch the other side of the fence without getting hit, you're going fishing.
oh man. I know how much a paper wasp hurts.
Oh,
How much is a bit of blue tack out of an air rifle hurt?
the best way I could explain it is like paintball, but
Yeah.
the paint's not soft. Mate, yeah. It used to hit your skin and spread, so it looked like as round as a 50-cent piece, and this is a tiny piece of blue tack in it.
Oh, not to say there wasn't safety involved. I heard you boys.
Mate, we were very, the old safety officers would have been proud with us then. We used to go and get the motorbike helmets first. So we all had motorbike helmets on. We couldn't get hit in the head. And he was pretty good with it. So he'd always aim for your leg or your arse cheek. So
Now, being an air rifle and a bit of blue tack, I can see it's not going to be the most accurate thing in the world.
oh god, no.
But surely there was a few targeted
Yeah, you could
blue tackings.
you could definitely tell his favourites on the day.
Who's pissed him off today? Who hasn't?
Yeah, I done a few laps with the gun not even pointed at me. So I think I was going fishing that day.
Might as well just not run. Yeah, righto. So that's it. So straight off the bat, there's the old ceremony to see you guys fishing.
Yeah.
But I have heard so many stories about this Uncle Russ over the years, and I am saddened a little bit that I never got to meet the fella.
Yeah,
'Cause
I do too, mate. Yeah.
There's so many people I've talked to have heard the stories of Uncle Russ, and a lot of people call bullshit and say a lot of these stories aren't true.
Yeah.
And then they met him in the flesh. And the first thing I heard when they came back from meeting Uncle Russ in the flesh was everything is real.
Oh, mate. And he can back it up. Like, that was the thing. He used to have some unreal stuff happen out in the river and camping trips, and he'd always have that backup on, no, this is how it happened and this is why, and he could really explain it. And just to depth. Like, mate, I remember we had an 18-pound cod attack the prop on the outboard motor. And this was, I think it might have been a 5 or 6 horsepower motor back then.
Yeah, this is a story I've heard before. Yep.
Yes.
So go into full detail. Like you're parked up on the bank for some reason.
Yeah, so he used to nose the boat into the bank and drive it up and rev it up so the boat would get stuck on like a mud bank or something so you could fish out of it.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was as we hit the bank, he give it a bit of a rev to get us up there and get us stuck, and it clunked and it didn't stall the motor, but yeah, she was an awful sound, and 18-pound cod floated up at the back of the boat, mate, and had no mouth on it. It was just completely chewed up.
So sort of lengthwise, like I don't deal with poundage. I'm not.
Yeah, this is really early. If I had to guess, it might have been like maybe an 80-centimetre fish.
Yeah, right.
Back then, yeah.
On a little, I suppose the little 6 horse, you're only looking at an 8-inch.
Yeah, 6 or 8
prop.
inch diameter. Yeah.
I suppose back in like the early days, they used to troll red robins and inline spinners that were
your old aeroplane spinners.
Yeah,
Look
aeroplane.
how big they got.
Yeah, they were huge. Like what's the biggest aeroplane spinner you've seen? The
The
biggest I've seen is maybe 6 inch, 7 inch.
Yeah, I'd say 6 or 7.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess when you put in comparison to a boat prop, about the same size.
Yeah, it's pretty similar, just a fuckload noisier.
Oh, how good is that?
But yeah, I guarantee he'll pop up a few times in the next couple of weeks or whatnot.
Yeah,
And
for sure.
hopefully I can share some of the yarns that I got to experience with him and,
Yep.
get a really good feel of who he was.
Who he
and
was. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Like, where did he grow up? Like,
He never liked staying in one place for very long.
no.
I think, mate, I had him in, he was at, where did we start? Forbes. He's been in Forbes,
Yep.
Narromine, Dubbo a little bit, Trengy, Armour Tree. He moved to the Entrance.
Yeah,
Back
right.
to
He's been
Narromine.
around.
Yeah, he really travelled around a lot. But that was him. He was like me. He just loved fishing, and when he got sick of catching the same old fish,
Moved to a different place.
yeah, spot on.
So he was in Narromine when he passed away. Where was he born? Do you know?
I'm not actually too sure where he was born.
Because for a fella that ended up living in Narromine, I've heard that his favourite spots were Warren.
Yeah,
Loved Warren.
absolutely. Yep. So like that was even the last reason why he went from Forbes back to the Macquarie River was the Macquarie River was his home. He loved it. Like his biggest fish come from here. He spent most of his life on this river, so this is where he wanted to end things, I guess. And he's been in Narromine for probably, I'd say the last 12 to 15 years.
Yeah, right. There you go. So he spent a fair bit of time out there.
Yeah, it was his home.
Yeah, there you go. So, yeah, rest in peace, Uncle Russ. He was a true blue outback Murray cod fisherman.
Oh, yeah.
He did everything you can think of and more.
Oh, yeah. I even remember a trip, mate, just real quick. We all went from Narromine, Dubbo, all went over to Condo for a week's fishing in school holidays. We rocked up. We had no esky, absolutely nothing. And I mean food-wise. We had water and we had drinks and stuff, but he was straight out of the box. We're eating what we catch. Mate,
Yeah.
in day one, we never boated a fish. We didn't even lose a bait. We resorted to rabbits, trying to catch them with rabbit traps. We couldn't even catch a rabbit. And on the second day, we were like, "Holy shit, we're not gonna get fed here." So poor old Auntie Des had to drop a 24 pack of snags off to us in Condo because we were all confident we'd catch some fish and stuff. But you never always catch them, eh?
That's right. Even goes to show legends like Uncle Russ can't always pull a rabbit out of the hat.
No. And he was one arsey man. Jesus Christ, he caught some good fish.
Oh dear. So, just to recap, you guys. So, Aaron, he is one of the mighty workers at Outback Angler Dubbo.
Yes.
He is one of the blokes that keeps you well equipped and makes sure all your favourite lures are installed and ready to go.
Spot on.
But one of the perks of being one of the blokes behind the counter at Outback Angler Dubbo
Is the stories.
Oh, my Lord. And boy, do we have some stories.
Oh, they just never stop. And this is where the long lines kick right back in. You can tell a story and stretch it as far as you can, but some of these blokes, mate, fucking hell, put some whipped cream on them.
So me and Aaron share a little notes thing on our iPhones, and we can both contribute to these notes. And it'll always get a notification about when someone's added in something onto this notes page. And every single time it's Aaron, some bloke came in and said this, some bloke came in and did that, some Sheila came in and did this.
Yeah.
And it has me in stitches. I'll be sitting at work reading his notes page and going, oh my God, this is going to be fucking gold.
Yeah.
So I think one of my favourite stories from recently is this fella in Dubbo bringing a cod in a bucket.
Oh, yeah. So, mind you, this is only probably 6 to 8 weeks ago from this podcast.
So you sold him didn't you? He came in.
Yeah, so
He asked for the gear.
never caught a cod before.
That's right.
And at that stage, we had a bit of dirty water in the river, so resorted him to bait. And went down there with some chicken and...
Well, just sold him a bait set up, like a bait caster.
Yeah, he just bought a spin rod, mate, just cheap spin rod. And
yeah, right, there you go.
Yeah, a couple hooks and sinkers, and yeah, he's trottled off down like within walking distance from the shop.
Well, down to the Dubbo boat ramp, if anyone
Yeah,
knows where that
in
is.
behind Woolies. Yep.
Yep. Yeah.
And he's obviously caught his first cod, and yeah, he's walked back up the shop, and here's his fucking tail sticking out the top of a bucket.
Well, not just tail.
No,
from what I
she
hear.
was a proper fish. Look, I never got to see the actual length of it,
I
but
never measured it up.
let's just say it was well over the old 75 centimetre mark where you shouldn't keep them above. It was a monster. It was a cracking fish. It really was. Like, it wouldn't have been the old mythical meatery, but yeah, she was right up there. At least 85 to 95.
So,
She was a cracking fish.
Old fella buys a gear from you. Does he buy the bait from you as well?
Nah, yeah,
you
Woolies
went and got
chook.
chicken. When he got a bit of chicken, bit of breast chicken from Woolies down the road.
Yep.
Went down the boat ramp, plonked his bait in, caught a fish, didn't know what the fuck he was doing with it, brought it back to you,
Yeah, and
obviously
wanted to ask,
oversized.
and was asking me, how do I fillet this fish? Now, this bucket had water in it. So when I mean he's walked up to it, yes, it had water in it, but it was full of blood. I think I
Pretty
don't
much
know.
fit its head in the bucket and everything else is overhanging it.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a pretty sight. And I remember throwing the old rule book at him and said, mate, you might have to have a read up on this one.
Don't bring that in my shop. You can go right back down to the riverbank where you found
Yeah,
it.
spot on.
We do not want to see that at all.
No. But look, in his defence, he's never done it before. And
What? He wasn't an Australian fella though, was he? He was
no, he
overseas.
wasn't Australian, no.
Come from overseas to work here somewhere.
Yeah. But
So in his defence, he probably didn't know all the rules, but had no excuse. You should always find out where you're fishing and all the rules that apply to you.
spot on. That's why the rule book's there, and that's exactly why it's free.
That's why it just helps everyone share the fishing experience with everyone else.
Yep.
Can't ruin it for someone else like you did back in the old days. Now, there is another one in the notes that I saw put up the other day that really piqued my interest, and I haven't heard this story yet.
Here we go. Which one?
All I saw was dentures.
Yeah. this. Oh wow! I've actually forgot about that. So this is why we write them down.
Yeah, that's right. The old shared notes, boys. If you ever need to share stories or whatever else, get on these shared notes business through iPhone. Brilliant.
Yeah, I'd actually. I think I've even still got a photo on this. So maybe when we release this episode, I'll put a photo up on our socials of it.
For sure.
Yeah, this I reckon it was probably 2 or 3 years ago. It was a while ago, but yeah, we had a shop full of people at Christmas time, and it was absolutely pumping. And me and Luke absolutely run off our feet, and it
Just so you
settles
know,
down.
Luke Carney, Bomber Carney, so you know, the owner of Outback Angler, just
Yep.
for reference.
The proper big dog.
The big dog at Outback.
Yeah, the only bloke I've got to answer to. Yeah, it's all quieting down in the arvo, and Luke's fucking seen this thing on the floor right in front of the counter, and here it is. And we've gone to have a closer look, and it was a fucking top denture. Someone had dropped their denture.
Like a full teeth, or was it only a couple of teeth, like those little
I
retainer
think it
ones with
had,
a couple of teeth on?
from memory, don't quote me, it probably had 3 teeth in it. So it was like, I don't know if they call
Yeah.
it a retainer or a denture.
I can't remember. Yeah, it's like, yeah, I know, I get what you mean, but yeah.
But get to the point, it's fucking disgusting. I didn't want
Just
to
at the
touch
front
it.
counter.
Yeah. And like peak period of the year, like, there's people coming in and out, and there's this denture
Dirty
retainers.
dentures sitting at the front counter.
Oh,
I mean,
mate.
how gobsmacked do you have to be to lose a denture at the front counter?
Oh, mate.
You must have hit him with a goddamn good bill.
And draw dropping.
For fucking sure.
Oh, mate. Yeah, must have muffled him there. Might have heard one of these tackle store yarns and fucking lost his shit.
Must have. Oh, my dear.
I never ever found the owner, mate. But like, they're
Never
not
came back.
expensive. They're pretty expensive, those things.
That'd be worth what? Oh, if not a couple $100, a couple of grand.
Yeah,
depending how
shit,
good
yeah.
you want it.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. And like I'm thinking, fuck, surely someone's going to realise they're missing a couple of teeth. But
You'd think, I suppose you want to retrace your steps, but
oh mate, yeah. But no, we
Must have
never
been-
ever found the owner.
Christmas period, pretty busy. You probably went to a couple of shops, didn't realise that was the last place he took it.
A couple of red hot
Or
dollars
that
here.
she took it. Oh, no.
Yeah, that was an absolute ball terror, that one.
Oh, dear. Mate, come on, there's got to be a couple more stories you've got out of the shop there.
Yeah.
I've heard about a few, old mate coming in and snapping a rod. How often do you get blokes coming in and testing gear out and break something?
It's actually surprising, not often at all. At all.
Really?
Yeah.
This is a story going back quite a while ago when I was young, probably under 10. Went out with the old man. We're in Gosford, seeing my old man's mate, his mates. Went down to local Kmart or something. Can't remember. Anyway, I'd just broken a rod. And just my first little rod. It was a Shimano combo with like a little S2000 reel and 2 piece. Can't remember what it was. And just broken it, trying to get a snag off. And unfortunately, needed a new rod. So we were going up to those ugly sticks.
Sorry, mate. I just had to do a bit of a top up here while we're
Yeah,
going.
just pouring a new drink for us. How good of a lad is he? Anyway, got a new ugly stick because, I don't know, I didn't know much at that point, but Dad's old mate heard about ugly sticks and how good they are and how durable they are.
Here we go, the old ugly stick.
The old thing about you can grab the tip to tail and touch them together,
Yep.
and they'll never break. Anyway, in the store, Kmart, picks up an ugly stick, the old Shakespeare, touches tip to tail, boof! The thing explodes in his hand. I went, real good those, aren't they? But he just casually puts it back on the rack, brings the next one off, touches it tip to tail. He goes, yep, that's a good one. And that's the one I took home.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've still got that rod. Little 2 to 4 kilo ugly stick with it's got like 10 or 12 inch clear tip, fibre tip.
Oh, yeah, the nibble tips. Yep.
Yeah. So I still got that rod. Brilliant little rod. Good for bait fishing.
Yeah, spot on. Yep.
But for you, many people break stuff in store? Not very often.
Nah, mate, I'm probably the fucking worst, honestly, for breaking rods. I'm absolutely horrendous. Mate, I don't. Yeah, literally, I'm good for 5 to 10 rods a year. But
What,
in
you're
saying
just trying
that,
to
I've been better.
try them out against the ceiling or putting weight on them? What are you doing?
No, it's just dumb shit on the boat, stepping on the fucking things.
But it's not in the store. You're fucking breaking them.
No, shit, no.
Hey.
Lucky I'm good at repairing them. No.
And I will say, boys, if you ever need to get a rod repair, come to our back and go to Aaron because he does know his way around a rod, if you know what I mean. No, I've had a few things, like I've had guides delaminate come out, and I've had tips break off. He re-tips them, or not re-tips them, he puts a new guide on the end.
I actually give you a lesson on the last rod.
He did, yeah. I had a Daiwa Commander that had a AGS guide that delaminated. Took it back in, and he gave me a cool little lesson about shaving off the old resin, taking it back to the blank, and then lining up the new guide, putting the binding on, tying the binding off, putting the new resin on, heating it up, letting it wait, come back. Yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
So if you do need repairs, come in. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Just don't expect it in a week.
Don't expect it. Yeah, don't expect it in a couple of days like
Yeah.
a few boys do. They come in, I've lost a guide, broke a tip, whatever. I mean,
Like it takes 2 full days for the resin to dry.
that's right. I think I did mine over about 2 weeks, 2 or 3
Yeah.
weeks.
Yeah. It's a bit of a patience thing, but
Yeah. You've got to make sure it's done right.
yeah. And going back to the old rod breaking, mate, the worst one was in the old Faithful Nitro. I was really big on edge rods back then.
Oh.
And, mate, just had rookie error. Was in a comp. Panicked. Got a new rod out of the rod locker. And I used to sit the butts up on the back end of the rod locker.
Yeah.
just so I could get to the lower rods because it never actually had a rack in the casting in the rod locker.
Yep.
Got the rod I wanted, went to shut the hatch, and it didn't go down properly. And
No,
I was
see where
like,
this is going.
fuck. And I was in that much of a rush to get my lure back in that water that I put my foot on it and it didn't go down again. And I was like, for fuck. Really leaned into it this time and I just crunched it. And yeah, I think I blew up 7 edge rods.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so 4 or 5 grand gone in one rookie mistake.
I don't think I've heard of many more. I've heard of a few blokes putting rods out the windows and then accidentally doing the windows up and they take the tips off a few, but
What I
that many good rods. Oh, mate.
But I touched it. This is the part that pisses me off. I put my foot on it and realised it didn't close. So what do? Go harder again. I didn't just check it. Oh, mate.
I mean, I haven't got a story as bad as that, but I bought a nice little Black Hole Dark Horse V2 bass rod, like a 7 foot.
Yep.
What was it? A 2 to 4 kilo. Might have been lighter.
It was a spin rod, wasn't it?
Yeah, 7.2 spin Dark Horse. A beautiful rod. Loved it. For the all of couple of months that I owned it. So I bought it second hand off a mate. Started using it, loved it. I'm going to do bass setup with it or like a vertical jig setup for yellows with it. It was good for that sort of thing you're trying to do. Anyway, first trip, I remember it was Australia Day. Australia Day weekend, we had a bunch of friends and mates out at the dam. We were skiing, fishing, whatever else. Actually, that's the weekend I got my PB, the 62. Yeah. And
yeah.
But just about to go out for a fish, pull out the Dark Horse and piece it together, rig it all up, sit it against the ute, go get the boat ready, come back, grab the rod, and it's got a snap tip on it. And I had no idea what had happened. I don't know whether it was me or someone had come up, slammed in the door. No idea. So I'll go in, see Az, got a new second half of it purchased from the supplier over in America. Came back. First trip back, we went to Windermere. What was that? Would have been the start of the Edge Bite, Windermere. I had a little tinny at that point, little 4 metre tinny. And first trip, put it down on the side, slammed it in the bloody rod locker again. So 2 trips, same rod, 2 broken ends. Nah, you can keep that. Never had anything to do with it again.
Quickest way to convert a 2-piece rod into a travel.
Oh, it was terrible too. I was off it at that point. Is there any other sort of stories you can tell from the shop, mate? Anything that's
Yeah, probably not off the top of my head. Like I said, I've literally probably got 100. But yeah, once they tick back to me, I'll probably release a few every couple of weeks, and yeah, we'll tick them on. But yeah, off the top of my head, mate, I think I'm it today.
That's fair enough, mate. That's fair enough. Righto, guys. So as you know, we're going to do a giveaway on the 3rd podcast. I'm going to have a special guest. I'll try to have a special guest for you guys. Don't know who it is just yet, but trying to line some up good. I think we're trying to make the 3rd episode a bit of an environmental episode.
Yeah, but not the greeny way.
No.
Just the love of the sport.
That's right. We're pretty involved around this area, trying to bring up fish health, river health, all that sort of stuff. And we just want to get that out there in the 3rd episode. But for the giveaway, as we said before, we want to hear your best fishing mishap. And probably to start us off,
yeah, let's kick one of our own off.
For sure. Let's do it.
Rev it up.
So what do you think? Well, you go first, mate.
Oh, mate, straight off the top of the dome. Fucking kill switch moment.
We've all had one, haven't we?
Oh, mate, if you haven't had a kill switch moment, you ain't been in a boat. Simple as that.
It's always those times you go to start it and It starts to kick, never go. You don't know what's going on, checking everything.
First thing you think of, fucking fuel line's blocked. Or
Bloody boats, bust out another 1,000, got to fix this. But
and I had a Merc Optimax at the time. Yeah. And Optimaxes with their coils, fucking first thing I thought of, coils. But no, I was wrong once again. So this yarn, we were at Burrendong and I took my cousin from Orange. He'd never caught yellows on edge before and they were going off their tits. So, went up the Kajigong and, mate, we were absolutely belting fish there. The leading weeks prior up, it was 50, 60 fish for a morning session. Like, it was just hectic.
Unreal. What were you doing? Like fish, like soft vibes on the edge?
Yeah, all
blades.
Fish traps. Fish traps killed it. They were the Zurich fish traps. Mainly
just with like
colours.
A slow roll and shake, or like hopping along the bottom, or
old school, mate. Yeah, just hop them.
Yep.
Double hop, hit the bottom. Double hop, hit the bottom. Double hop, strike, bang. Took him up there and.
How far up river were you? Like fairway or?
Yeah, mate. I reckon probably 30k.
Right.
Yeah,
so fairway up. Fairway up river.
Yeah, we're up past the other Kajigong Park and by Fairway too.
Wow.
Yeah. So that year it was middle of drought and we had a little bit of an inflow which was huge back then. Like we're struggling with water through that drought.
Yeah.
A little bit of rain happened. There was inflows through the back of valleys and creeks and every single one of those little inflows was just loaded with yellows. So I said, righto, mate, pack your gear, let's go. Pulled up the boat ramp, had a beautiful run up the back, nice warm early spring, warm air, got up there, pulled up on this first bank that I'd done well on, and it was pretty tough. Like, I think me mine only got 15 off the first 100 metres, and that was...
so tough.
No, that was... in that circumstance, that was... We should have nearly been getting a fish every cast.
So this is the time where they're actually really looking for food. They're creaming everything. Yeah.
You got one fish hooked at the side of the boat. There's 10 underneath him, that type of stuff.
So this when they're like doing their false spawn and they're all coming up and
spot on.
Yeah.
And it was just a perfect edge bite that year. And he was absolutely on the moon that we caught 15. I said, mate, you wait until we find a creek here where they're loaded. And you get one a cast for the next hour.
Yeah.
And I went to make a move, and the old boat just ding, 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 ding. Oh,
wouldn't start.
Yeah. And I hit panic mode. Oh, fuck. I think I've done a coil or something in the motor. And
checking up and down, left and right.
Pulled the coil off and, checked. I even went back to spark plugs and shit like that. Like shit I shouldn't even be fucking looking at because I'm no mechanic. But... yeah,
well, that's everyone though. Like, it's not very many marine mechanics out there, but everyone gives it a shot when something isn't working in it.
Give me the right tool, I'll fix the job.
Yeah, that's right. You know what the fuck's going on here? Have a look.
It was, mate. I reckon when I was sitting there for 40 minutes, I actually electriced over to a mud flat to beach the boat so I could walk around the back of it. And fucking lo and behold, here's this old Quinny, not old, it was brand fucking new. New Quintrex.
Old new Quintrex.
He's come around the corner and I've waved him over and anyway, he was a very nice fella. He worked out that we were broken down. I said, mate, look, I don't know what's going on. Any chance you could tow us back to the boat ramp? I know it's a long way. He said, yeah, mate, no dramas at all. Like, I'll hook up and give you a rope. I said, yeah. Well, how do you like the boat, mate? Because, you mentioned that it was a brand new boat. First ever run.
His first run, he's gone all the way up the back of Burrendong and Kajigong.
To rescue me.
Come back down and seen you.
Oh, and I felt bad.
Playing around in the shallows.
Yeah. See all out of water.
Oh, mate, you can just imagine what he was thinking.
Oh. And it was a long haul back. I'm glad we actually had a fair few beers in the esky because we just pursed our feet up, mate. We were cruising back 10k an hour, just cruising along. And I can't remember the time, but it was a couple of hours.
Like we were 2 hours, 3 hours to get back?
Yeah, I reckon 2 or 3 hours, 100%. And we were in it. Like I had been playing
And you said it was
music.
pretty low, didn't you? The dam was pretty low.
Yeah, so a lot of ducking and weaving. I reckon it was probably 8%.
Yeah. Yeah, when you go down that low, especially going up the Cudgegong River at Burrendong, trees everywhere.
Yeah. So
You go past that whole kilometres and kilometres of trees that have been lopped off at the same height. And
yeah, that's what I even said to old mate that was towing us back. I said, mate, brand new boat, you want to take her up here? He's like, yeah, I just wanted to see how far I could run with it. And yeah, thank God he did, because I don't know how I was
you'd still be stuck up there.
Yeah. And yeah, we got back into the main bowl, and tunes blaring, fucking beers getting tipped down, and I could see the boat ramp. I was in vision of the boat ramp, and I don't know what had happened. I'm pretty sure it was like I spilled a drink on my leg, or a fucking fly was pissing me off, and I've looked down, and I could see the bungee cord just dangling under the quay. And I was like, oh.
And it's at this moment you realised you fucked up.
I go, fuck me, the kill switch is out. And because old mate's up his boat, he couldn't hear us. So I've pushed it up, and I've give the old motor a kick, and the battery had enough go, and it started up. I fucking turned it off real quick. And my cousin's all pumped up. He's like, oh, can we get... Yeah, we're right to go fishing again. I said, mate, we are not moving this fucking motor. This boat's going on that trailer, and we're going home.
Just out of pure embarrassment.
Oh, mate, embarrassment. It was... I was so embarrassed. Like, I couldn't get to the boat ramp after 3 hours getting towed back and go, oh, mate, I just knocked the kill switch out. I'm good to go. Like...
Turn around and fuck back off where you came from.
Yeah. Oh, it was probably up there in the most embarrassing thing I've done the boat.
So he towed you all the way back. What, you just pushed it back up onto the trailer and off you went?
Yeah, oh, well, I did use the main motor to get it up, but he had already pissed off. So I started the main motor and pushed her up the trailer, and yeah, so a full day's fishing got turned into about an hour of fishing and 3 hours of towed back, and no more fishing to save some embarrassment, because, yeah, that was fucking...
That is a proper mishap, isn't it?
Surely you've got a mishap you can talk about.
Mate, do I ever.
Fuck up's my middle name.
Yeah, that's right. Which one to talk about is the one.
Yeah.
Probably one of the biggest rookie errors I've ever done was took the boat out, good mate, Jared. I don't know, we probably mentioned him in the first podcast, but we used to own a little tinny together. We put in at local boat ramp and we went down to top of a weir. Parked the boat at the top of this weir. It was closed cod season, so we're just fishing for yellers, chucking small little, I think I was chucking like a 60 mil, what's the black and red 60 mil orgy player?
Oh, colour-wise?
Yeah.
Red and black.
Red and black. Little red and black orgy player, like a little 5 metre diver or something. And we thought, oh yeah, we go down to the weir and we'll just chuck into the bit of the aerated water. So get down there, start chucking around. I think I bought a little T Soul off you, like a little 1 to 3 kilo 6-foot bait caster, and I put this 150 HG Corrado on it.
Yep.
Cracking little setup for yellers. Absolutely loved it. You got onto a good one, you definitely knew you had it on.
Turned inside out.
Yeah, that's right. I got a 15-pound line running about 10-pound leader on it. Then got to this weir, started chucking into the water. Not much about. We hadn't done much that day and caught fuck all. Anyway, chucked in, bang. And whatever grabbed me in that water, it is probably one of the best fights I've ever had out of a fish. It was spectacular.
Fuck, you would only had 2 kilo drag on him or something, wouldn't you?
Well, here comes the fucking mishap out of this story. So little did I know, because fishing right-handed bait caster, now I've swapped to left-handed.
Rookie.
Probably because of it. And this might be the thing that made me swap from right to left-handed. Is casting in, hooked up, and all of a sudden, drag's gone. I couldn't figure it out. Why? My drag just all of a sudden disappeared. I was like, I can't stop this fish. Start thumbing it. Can't stop it from thumbing it. All of a sudden, the whole left-hand side of my fucking reel falls off in the ground.
Side plate.
Side plate.
Yep.
So the little side plate you take off, and it's got the little magnet spinning to control your mag control. Gone. So that means because the spool isn't in there, it's not pressing up against the drag washers properly on the other side.
Here we go. Yep.
Gone.
Did the spool fall out?
No, it just gone like a madman, sitting inside the reel. I'm there trying to thumb it and look for this piece in this weir where water's running between my legs across these rocks, trying to find this little side piece so I don't totally stuff my reel and have to buy a new one. Finally find it. By this time, the fish is probably, I don't know, 50 metres, 60 plus down the river.
Oh.
Can't stop it. And I said, bugger this. Plant me thumb in it. Twang. There goes my favourite little yellow belly lure. Meanwhile, then I got to fix me reel and sadly wind in about 60 metres of line back up the river. So, yeah, boys, one, don't be dumb like me, but two, check your gear before you start chucking in the river because that little side plate, it's like one of those ones with a little push button and then you got to slide it, twist it for it to come off.
Yep.
Well, when I've done this hook set, obviously, it's twisted and popped off.
Definitely a 1.10.
Who knows? That could have been a metery cod out of season, but it definitely wasn't what I was chasing. But it's you get those little accidents and mishaps. So this is one involving both me and Aaron. What was it, Easter this year?
Yeah, Easter weekend.
Oh, always a good Easter trip away to the river.
It's always a good time of year to go camping, eh?
Yeah. No, we usually go and do the Barrendong Classic, but this year we thought we'd go to the river.
Yeah, a bit more quiet, get away from a few people.
Yeah, that's right. And as always, got to take a truckload of gear with you when you go away. What did we have? We had quite a few people there, didn't we? Had what?
Yeah, shit. I reckon there would have been 15 of us.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep.
Yeah. We get there. We travel in a bit of a convoy to get there, as is telling the faithful Tinny. I've got a camper trailer and a couple of kayaks on top and going across to Warren. Little Warren Reserve out there. And then the mischief starts as soon as we rock up.
The old mythical hill this time.
Oh, well, actually, the mischief started well before that for me.
Yeah, you were... What happened the night before, mate?
Oh,
do tell.
I had a bit of a soiree with a bit of a tequila bottle. That was not very far from off the top, and it was empty by the time I'd finished this.
So I'll fill you in on this. I rocked up to Dane's house the morning we're leaving to go to Easter camping, and his missus is driving his ute. I look in the passenger seat, and here's Dane, half curdled up in a ball, in fetal position with a pillow under his head in the passenger seat.
Yeah, hold up a minute. I'm going to need a drink for this story.
This is what got you there.
I know. Glutton for punishment, me, buddy.
So I'm guessing it was a bit of a trip for him out there, but he made it.
I slept the whole way. I don't remember a damn thing until we got to this bloody hill. And it had only just finished raining too.
Slippery, clayey stuff.
Yeah. Super wet. And the missus wasn't too confident with four-wheel driving the camper trailer down this hill, so righto. Mustered up some courage and got in the driver's seat and four-wheel drive the trailer down the hill and nice little sandy beach down the bottom.
I went first.
That's right. You did go
Yeah.
first to test it out.
But
Yeah.
I also did have a lighter vehicle and a lighter boat trailer than a camper.
You made it fine and came down pretty hot after you.
Yeah, I remember we had to move my ute a few times too.
So made it down to the sand, and just because it was wet, it wasn't compacted and all. I think the river was still going down too.
Yeah, it was dropping, so that sandbar was soft.
Yeah,
soft.
soft as. And, well, I nose in and then try to reverse back and get the camper trailer where I wanted it and went about 2 foot downwards instead of backwards. So here I am hungover and I was not having it at all.
Yeah, and I was on the shovel.
Yep, I thought, fuck you, I'm going to be on the driver's seat and a bit easier on the body.
Trying to help one mate out. Hung over his shit in the car. I thought, mate, I'll jump on the shovel for you. Well, I didn't realise I was going to be digging for the next hour.
Yeah.
But
So eventually we went stuff it after about an hour of digging and pushing and pulling and every which way, max tracks flying everywhere. We said, I'd bugger it. We put the camper trailer off, out popped the ute, easy as anything. Pulled up behind it, winched it into place, got all set up, and away we go. So straight off the bat, this trip for me is not good.
I actually remember cracking a can right after we set up camp, and you were not keen at all.
I think I recoiled in horror, to be honest. But yeah, after that, we got the old tinny in the water and decided that let's go for a fish.
Yeah, and this is where you pulled out your bag of tricks.
Yeah, and it took them some convincing to get me in that boat, which generally doesn't. But
Yeah, I nearly left without you twice.
I thought, you know what, a bit of a fresh air, a bit of a cast, that'll bring me good.
What happened?
Well, I do remember we made it up, probably a K, not even a K, to a spot, and
We could still see our camp.
yeah, third
right
cast
on the
in. Yeah, third cast in for me. Cracked an all right fish. It was pretty good. Got the old body going again. Felt the adrenaline going. Felt a bit of the happy drugs going through the brain, catching the fish. And then I decided to have a nap on the front deck for the next hour after that.
Which didn't help because we catch one more fish in the next couple of hours. So I've had to work my ass off for my bite. You've jagged yours and third cast and got to have another sleep in the boat.
Yep. No, it was cracking. And then by the time we got back to camp, I was feeling it, and I just went straight to bed. I'm pretty sure that didn't play up at all that night.
No, you didn't.
No.
And we had the camp ovens on too.
Oh, how good are camp ovens? Oh, my Lord. And we did some crackers. Well, we did lamb, we did a pork belly.
Belly, yeah. Well, if you go camping in Australia and you do not take a camp oven with you,
Yeah.
you're not Australian.
Mate, got to have it. Got to have it, I reckon.
Even if it's a dirty old stew, mate.
Mate, fantastic. In a camp oven, especially after about, it's been sitting there brewing away 6 hours plus. You're hungrier than a mission dog. You pull up your plate, no matter what's coming out of the camp oven, it takes the best thing in the world.
And you can leave it there overnight. Don't have to put it in a fridge or anything like that shit. And it's still good. You can still gnaw into that thing for braggy.
I don't condone as is the health standards, but he's right.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we're not here to talk about our camping adventures, but there was one really entertaining part of that weekend, I remember. A bit of a mishap in fishing.
Yeah, there was.
Yeah, one of our good mates, Kane, was along having a bit of a fish in the kayak, and I'll let you explain this because I don't think I was here at this point.
No, I think you were actually out fishing yourself.
Yeah.
But, so young Kane, he's decided to jump in one of the kayaks off the bank and go downstream and have a fish. And I've got back from being upstream. I'm back at camp, and Kane's on his way back to camp, and he's within eye vision, like within 30, 40 metres from camp, and he's hit a rock.
Oh, no.
This rock has flipped his kayak in the middle of the river. He swum to the bank, so he had a venom rod, like a $1,200 setup, whole tray of lures, I should say box of lures.
His phone.
His phone, his thongs, He's ditched everything. He just took off to the bank. So I've gone, shit, right, I'm going to jump in a kayak and try and go get his kayak before it floats down to Warren. And I've jumped in, I've grabbed his kayak, and as I flipped it, I could see his venom rod about a foot under, slowly sinking. I've reached in and grabbed it. So I've gone, shit, I've saved his
him a bit
rod.
of money there.
How good's that? And then I seen 2 thongs floating towards me, grabbed them. And about an inch underwater was this half bubbling, sinking tray of lures. So I've just got a hold of that. But when I've grabbed hold of it, it was open.
Oh.
So all the lures have come out.
No.
Now Kane throws a lot of hard bodies and surface. So
Yeah.
thank God he did, because I did recover every single one of his lures. I've hooked his kayak up to the back of mine. I paddled all the way back upstream to camp. And I remember seeing him at the fire like a drowned rat.
Warming up.
Freezing, because it was chilly.
Yeah, it's not the warmest time of year.
So I've let him know that I've saved his venom and all his lures, as well as his thongs.
Thongs and kayak, not to mention.
And kayak. Oh, and paddle.
And paddle.
Mate,
Mate,
I was like a pack horse coming up that thing. Proper convoy. But, yeah, once I got back, he was over the moon. Poor fella, like, to lose all your gear in one trip, that hurts.
that'd be rough.
But
I mean,
he
at the end
was.
of the day, he walked away like only losing his phone when he could have lost so much more.
Exactly.
But, yeah.
So he still owes me for beer for that. So I'll fill you in when he eventually pays up.
Oh, what a cracker. That's what we want to hear, boys. We want to hear stories like that and what we've just told. And who knows? Your story might win you a couple of really good lures.
Exactly right. And, like, that's just one from me and Dane each. And, like, we've got plenty because we're fucking absolute dickheads when it comes to...
Mate, I've done more blunders than I have good things, I think.
So, yeah. No, if you've definitely got one that you're willing to share, send it in. Email us at codtales. So that's CODTALES podcast @gmail.com.
Nailed it.
Flicking through there, boys and ladies. Even if you guys,
Yep.
you guys have got a story, we're willing to hear it. Absolutely love to play it for you. And look, you could win yourself a prize out of it too. So
That's right. We'll read them out. We'll read out probably the best 5 or 10 on air.
100%.
And our guests that we get on will probably join in the fun, and we'll pick out the best one. And best one, guess what? You get sent out a nice little prize pack.
100%.
Beautiful. And as we mentioned last episode, guys and girls, we are doing a mental health lure board. So what this means for us is I've already picked out a little lure I'm going to put up on the board. I've got a tasty little 75mm custom crafted timber lure in black and red. And it's the one with the see-through bib with a little weight in it on the tie point.
Lead weight, yep.
Lead weight on the tie point. That lure means a fair bit to me, to be honest. I found that lure surprisingly floating in the river. It's one of those ones that, and I've been pretty lucky with that, to be honest. I've found a fair few lures just floating in the river, picked them up, tied them on, and that just fine, they work. Because I think most of the time anytime I found lures, I think they've been snapped off by a big cod on that.
That's the number one rule, mate. You find a floating lure, you tie it on.
100%. It was only a month or two ago. Picked up a little what was it? Cod cruncher, the wizard.
Is that the surface lure you found?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's this tiny. We were out fishing, and I saw this little black and bright green thing off the end of a tree, and I went, what is that? And I think it's called like a cod cruncher made by Wizard Lures or something like that. Tiny, nice little, cod hopper. Cod hopper.
Cod hopper.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, beautiful lure. Works really great and free. Might as well check. Do you know what lure you're putting up as?
Yeah, mate. I've got a gigantural. I'm going to put up.
Yep.
May have a few more. I might take a few out of me little side pocket there, and yeah, just donate a couple that I've either had a good story to go with and can talk about, or so. Yeah, well, I'll get it cracking, and yeah, we'll donate some lures. But please, yeah, if you're more than happy to do it, send them into us. So I'm actually going to get them sent to the shop, which is the address is 56 Macquarie Street, Dubbo. So that's 56 Macquarie Street, Dubbo, New South Wales 2830. So yeah, send the lures with attention Codtales podcast on them, and we'll feature them on the wall and get them in an auction.
Bloody oath. And I think we'll send some photos through of the two we're going to put up, and every time I get a new lure, it's going to go up on the board. We'll show what's on offer, and then when we think there's going to be enough lures up there to make it substantial for an auction, we're going to put it up on our socials, auction them all off. Winner gets all, pays the what they reckon they're worth.
Yep.
That'll go all donated forward to mental health.
Exactly right. All right, guys. So to close this one out, I'd like to mention that we've got our social media platforms up and running. I've got Facebook, Instagram. I've got a TikTok as well. So, if you just want to jump on there, you can always have a yarn in the comments. Share a couple of funny photos or whatnot. So, it's a good little talking community on the socials as well. We'll kick that off and, move forward from there.
For sure. And just remember, guys, that's Codtales Podcast, no matter where you go.
Spot on.
Beautiful. Thanks, guys.
And we'll catch you next episode.